Next, I have an update on Coy Griffin. Actually, several of you have asked for an update on him. He is the founder of Cowboys for Trump, and he was charged also with the basic 4 misdemeanors. He has since denounced Trump, but he also still believes that he didn't do anything wrong on January 6th. He's refused not 1, but 2 plea deals offered by prosecutors. And he's also planning to take his case to trial. Griffin claims that he has video evidence showing that police were the aggressors on January 6th. And he told KOB news outlet, quote, "All of the videos that day show Capitol police officers opening doors, fist bumping people, coming in and beating people up and assaulting people on Capitol grounds. That's something the media is not telling us right now, but not showing us, but it's going to come out." Show it to us then. Show it to everybody. Why won't you? And Griffin also still believes that the election was stolen from Trump, and he's now involved. This is the most interesting update about him. He's now involved in an effort basically to waste taxpayers' money on an election audit, so-called election audit in Otero County, New Mexico, where they plan to go door to door and ask people for whom they voted. Not only is this potentially a violation of federal law, but this is Trump country. Trump won Otero County by a large margin. Not to be confused with
large marge,
not large marge. So what's the point? What's the point other than wasting tax dollars? Is Griffin going to be compensated for this work? Because according to New Mexico State Auditor Brian Colon, Griffin was already caught in 2020 using taxpayer funds for his Trump obsession. He apparently tried to expense a trip of over $3,200 that he took to attend a Trump event in Washington, D.C. He thought that that was a write-off. So the auditor's office issued a risk advisory to the county, and then Griffin ended up paying the money back for this bogus bill. But, he tried. So all the best people, right? Next, I want to share news with you guys about a few insurrectionists who have been sent back to jail. You may recall in the video short I did about James Grant, I mentioned that he was arrested again. He was caught driving under the influence. And when police tried to search his vehicle, or when they did search his vehicle, they found an AR-15 and 60 rounds of ammunition. So as expected, U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly ordered that Grant be sent back to jail. He said, no bond, you're going to remain there until trial. And at the hearing, Judge Kelly said, quote, "There seems to be a toxic combination of substance abuse problems, alleged mental health issues, and repeated access to firearms that poses a really serious threat to the community." And remember, Grant is charged with physically attacking officers on January 6th. So this isn't one of those people who had the 4 misdemeanor charges where he was probably going to get a slap on the wrist sentence anyway. In fact, Grant is accused of and seen on video alongside Ryan Samsel getting physical with officers at that first barrier that was breached at an area called Peace Circle.
And isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Yeah, very ironic, isn't it? So I'll keep you guys posted on his story. Another insurrectionist who was sent back to jail is Proud Boys member Josh Pruitt. Just last month, Pruitt went on CNN and said that he had no regrets about January 6th. And he said, "I'd do it all over again. I'd storm the Capitol all over again." So Pruitt disputes that characterization of his comments. He said that he would just protest again. But here's exactly what Pruitt said. Quote, "If you ask me if I do it again, I want to say yes. But then I'd question in the back of my head, would I? I don't feel I've done anything wrong, but knowing the consequences that came out of it would be the part that would make me question it. I was just a patriot out there, protesting against what I think is a stolen election. Trying to send me to prison for a few years over this, I think, is a complete joke." But that's not all Pruitt did at the Capitol. He wasn't just protesting. There's video showing him inside the Capitol confronting police officers, and then he picks up over his head, picks up a sign and throws it. And they said violently threw it. And he boasted after the fact, and he said, quote, "Hand is swollen. Cop came at for no reason, so I dropped his ass." No reason, huh? You're illegally in the building. You're throwing things like a giant toddler having a tantrum because your Trumpy bear didn't win. But, these comments to CNN are not the reason, believe it or not, that he was sent back to jail. That wasn't it. Apparently, he's been blowing off his pretrial release curfew. He's threatened numerous people, including an ex-girlfriend, and prosecutors say that he violated his probation in other cases unrelated to January 6th. So, wow. Yeah, those proud bigots, boy, they sure have all the best people, huh? They really attract the cream of the crop. Anyway, at the hearing, Pruitt's attorney tried to say, oh, well, my client, he just didn't have a ride home from work on numerous occasions. That's why he violated his curfew. It's really not his fault. This is a grown-ass man. By his own account, he's out dropping cops, but he has to have people drive him to work and home like a teenager. A teenager with their first job. Has he never heard of Uber or maybe a bus? So the judge isn't buying all of this. The judge is like, yeah, no. And so he was ordered to self-surrender to jail on January 18th. But Pruitt wasn't going to let it lie. So in this hearing, determining whether or not he's going to be sent back to jail, he starts arguing with the judge, and he threatened to go on CNN again to accuse the judge of violating his First Amendment rights. And then he kept interrupting the judge. So the prosecutor said, his attitude raises some questions about whether or not he's actually going to comply and self-surrender. So Pruitt said, no, yeah, I'll do it. But then he continues during the hearing. This is all done by teleconference. He continues to mumble in the background. The attorneys are discussing logistics. And then, according to a reporter, Pruitt says something about, quote, law-abiding citizen and, quote, unlike the BLM piece of shit. Yeah, law-abiding citizen, my ass. This guy is the farthest thing from a law-abiding citizen. According to WUSA news outlet, Pruitt has been arrested 19 times. Not 9, 19. And he's been convicted 8 times. Arrested 19 times, convicted 8 out of the 19. Almost 50-50. In fact, he was on probation for one of those crimes when he illegally entered the Capitol on January 6th. He was wearing an ankle monitor on January 6th, you guys. This guy seriously doesn't think that rules and laws apply to him. And in a victim impact statement, Pruitt's ex said that she was fearful that Pruitt was going to hit her. And she said he would barrage her with text messages and videos that contained very thinly veiled threats. He would send her videos of himself playing with a knife, or he'd send a video of himself standing outside her apartment building. There's nothing more pathetic and weak than a man threatening to or beating up on a woman. I mean, seriously. And Pruitt also threatened random people on social media, according to the prosecutors. He told one person that he was going to, quote, put them 6 feet under. In another exchange, he wrote, quote, I have 30 friends waiting for you, which prosecutors said was a reference to the number of rounds in his Glock 19. And then in another cited exchange, Pruitt told someone, quote, fuck around and watch your pulse disappear, princess. So yeah, this is one of those political prisoners that old Marge and Gates are clutching their pearls over. This is your tribe, Green and Gates. These are your people. Aren't you so proud? As they say, your vibe attracts your tribe.